This is ILTV on the hour, bringing you the biggest stories from Israel and the Middle East in just 5 minutes. I'm Caleb Ben David, and today is day 691 of the war in Gaza. Let's get into all the top headlines at this hour. U.S. President Donald Trump says a White House meeting will be held today to consider a comprehensive plan for managing post-war Gaza. Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff said, "We are going to settle this one way or another, certainly by the end of the year." Now, ahead of what was being described as a large meeting at the White House, the administration is putting forward a comprehensive plan for post-war management of Gaza. President Trump himself will chair the White House meeting. This appears to be the first time that Witkoff has revealed the existence of a U.S. plan for the so-called day after in Gaza, and he stressed that the administration does not want further partial hostage deals. Now, with the exception of Trump's remarks in February on his vision for the U.S. to take over Gaza and relocate its residents, the White House has largely deferred to its Arab allies in the region while trying to pressure them to take in Palestinian refugees. Here's Witkoff.
And part of what we're trying to do is shut that war down. It doesn't need to continue to happen anymore. And I think that Hamas has held that region hostage for much too long, and it's time for it to end. And I think many of the Arab governments, by the way, are in that camp as well.
Now, this comes after the Israeli Security Cabinet met last night to discuss the war plans in Gaza. The issue of the Hamas's acceptance of the proposed hostage for ceasefire deal was reportedly not discussed, even as thousands of Israelis again took to the streets of Tel Aviv and elsewhere, demanding the government make a deal now. Prime Minister Netanyahu reportedly did discuss the issue of the hostages at the meeting, telling ministers he did not know why President Trump said that fewer than 20 hostages are still alive. Sources familiar with the latest hostage information told Israeli media that there were unfortunate and baseless statements being made about their current state. And in Australia, 20-year-old Yunus Ali Yunus appeared in Melbourne's magistrates' court today, charged with the December 6th arson attack on that city's Adass Israel synagogue. This comes after Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the country's intelligence agency had found that attack and another last year in Sydney were directed and funded by the Iranian regime. New information released by Australian authorities detailed how Yunus and other local criminals were hired by Iranian proxies to carry out attacks on the Adass Israel synagogue and other Jewish targets. Now, Yunus did not enter a plea or seek bail in the Melbourne court. UN nuclear inspectors have returned to Iran for the first time since Tehran suspended cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency following the Israeli and U.S. attacks on its atomic sites in June. IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi said while the inspectors are back in Iran, they have not agreed with Tehran on how to resume inspections. Iran says it needs a new agreement with the IAEA on inspections because conditions have changed since the 12-day war with Israel. Here's Grossi.
We've seen many successes in the past few weeks where, in spite of very difficult conditions, it has been possible to broker deals, to bring people together. This is a special case because, of course, Israel is also involved. There is a matter where the United States took action. So the reconstruction of this dialogue conversation is more difficult, but it's not impossible. It's not at all impossible. Of course, certain conditions must be met, and our work, the work of the inspectors, is indispensable because without us being there checking what is going on, you cannot enter any serious negotiation without knowing what is really happening in countries.
And that's a wrap for this edition of ILTV on the Hour. We'll continue giving you some of the most important updates coming out of Israel and the Middle East. You can scan the QR code on your screen to get access to our ILTV app. I'm Caleb Ben David, and thank you for watching.